And good morning. It is Monday, February the 23rd. This month is yay close to being over, isn't it? Getting ready for March. We've got another night of this extreme, odd, cold weather. And when I say extreme, it is. Tonight, we should see lows dip down to about 23. Now, we are below freezing as you're looking at me now. We're at 31 right now. Early this morning, 3:30, we were sitting around 33. Temperatures dropped a couple degrees before daylight. 31 is what we've got now. We do expect it to be 47. It's going to be nippy. Grab a jacket, keep that close with you throughout the day. As we get into the rest of the day, 15-mile-an-hour sustained winds expected with gusts up to 25 miles an hour. Now, what does that tell us? We'll emphasize this more when we get into the forecast, but I kept seeing big red fire trucks roll everywhere yesterday. Don't burn. No matter how much you want to get rid of leaves or trash or whatever it is, let it be for a few days until the wind calms down. They've got out extreme cautions about fires today. We'll share that with you when we get into the forecast here in just a little bit. Monday all over again. I do hope the weekend treated you well. We've got all the ins and outs of what went on over the weekend while you slept or work, whatever you had. We'll tell you all about it in a moment. Right now, let's go to Collinsville. Let's get our good word of the day. It's Brother Ben.
Have you ever seen a toddler throw a tantrum and wondered, where in the world did that come from? Well, it didn't start in the moment. It started in the Garden of Eden, where the legacy of disobedient children began. You see, when Adam and Eve reached for that forbidden fruit, they weren't just breaking a rule. They were creating an inheritance of disobedience, spiritually passed on from one generation to the next. That rebellious impulse has echoed through every generation since. Every child born carries that same disobedient heart. So, when Apostle Paul tells children to obey their parents in Colossians 3:20, he's telling them something that goes against their grain, against their natural constitution. You don't have to teach a toddler to say no or model defiance for a teenager. It's already there. It's wired in by the curse of Eden. Genuine, willing obedience, it has to come from somewhere else entirely. A stubborn heart begins to change. The Spirit takes up residence and begins bending that resistant will toward love. Obedience, it shifts from avoiding punishment to honoring God, from following rules to reflecting this transformed heart. Paul doesn't say obey your parents only. He says, children, obey your parents in everything, for this pleases the Lord. So that last phrase there, for this pleases the Lord, that changes everything. It moves the motivation from obligation to devotion. A child living for Christ, now look, they won't obey perfectly, but they'll obey differently, right? Willingly and gratefully, like they're freed from the tyranny of their own rebellion. What Adam and Eve destroyed in the garden, Jesus restores at the cross, even that sacred bond between a parent and their child. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that message. As I was looking at the temperatures and things, again, 31 in Meridian, but we see the wind chill is 24. Mark was letting us know there in Conahatta, 29 and wind chill of 22 this morning. Odie, it is definitely not the day for a short sleeve shirt.
It ain't bad.
It's bad. I got a heater over here just a churning, trying to keep up with me and try to keep me warm. We do hope your day is going well and you are warm wherever you sit this morning. But again, things are going to change in the next couple of days. We've got details on that. By Wednesday, we're normal again. Back to hot Mississippi weather. We'll have all those details coming up in a moment. Do you remember, as we get into headlines that shape America this morning, do you remember the NASCAR driver? His father was killed in the fire. It was Denny Hamlin, his father. The fire has been ruled an accidental fire, but they have no clue what caused the fire, what started it. But it has been ruled officially as being accidental. It's so sad for someone to have to go through something like that. Another thing that was really big, and then all of a sudden Ice, 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 baby took over, and that's all you heard. Anyone notice there hasn't been not the first arrest in the Minnesota fraud? Nothing. Are they still investigating? No one's telling us anything. And it goes from there to other states of being that bad or worse. I'm not saying cover up. I'm just saying nothing has been done. I'd like to know more about that. I've often talked about James Wood. He's an actor, kind of a straightforward kind of guy. And I'm going to show his post from Twitter this morning. And his headline is, do you remember when the Supreme Court banned prayer in schools? Anybody know that? Take a look at what he posted there. This is California. What's going on in the gymnasium there in California? Oh, it's a Muslim prayer in schools. What's happening in New York that we talked about last week, 5 times a day on the loudspeakers?
Yep.
As Earl Pitts would say, wake up, America. People, adults, sometimes get carried away with their political thinking. And when it comes to children, it should not even be allowed. I honestly don't think I knew really the difference in between anything of independent Republicans and Democrats until I was probably 14, 15 years old. I don't think I'd really heard of it. My life didn't revolve around politics. My parents didn't talk about it. This is one of those cases where grown-ups made a decision they shouldn't have. The school planned a walkout over ice. Now, again, school officials took part of it. A couple of miles away, a special needs child was found later that they lost while they had students out protesting this. Now, you tell me, does a special needs child even know what they're talking about when it comes to ice? I don't think so. But yet they drug this child out. Parents are beyond upset, and they should be. You should not bring children into politics, period. 6th grader. We saw where a tour bus, it was in Russia, and had Chinese on it. They were touring Russia. The bus sank in ice. 8 people have died, including a child, after that tour bus sank. I've seen pictures of it. It's horrifying. But 8 people, 8 souls lost their lives in that. 3 big stories to take away from this weekend. The first one is Mexico. The U.S. has helped, if you haven't heard of this yet. One of the largest leaders of the cartel has been taken out. And when I say taken out, I mean taken out. The U.S. assisted with intel, and the Mexican army took them on. He has been taken out. They say this is going to be a change. Things are burning. There's people that are trapped in Mexico at this point that were there on vacation. It's big. There's fires burning. They tried to set cars on fire on the roads where people couldn't evacuate, but good has won over the cartel. We will see what happens over the next few days. The next big thing that happened this weekend, maybe you know this, maybe you don't. Mar-a-Lago, an assailant, we'll put it that way, was taken out as an armed man with a gas can tried to get into, well, he actually was into a secured area of Mar-a-Lago. They told him to drop it all. He set the gas can down and raised the gun. It was over at that point. 21-year-old. I haven't studied much on the youngster of what his political thinking was, what was going on. But that ended in a bad way for him. You can't do that. The next big thing is, I guess this is since Ronald Reagan, and I'll show you a picture of the guy. Now, I really don't watch the Olympics, and I'll be honest about that. It's just not my kind of thing. But I realize that somewhere in Canada, they really, really, really like hockey. It's not that big in America. There's a little bit, but not that big. You seen the American that after they won that blocked the goal there that praised the U.S. military? He was missing his teeth. They got knocked out during this. And we got a picture of this. I Googled this so you could see this. This is him holding the American flag after that win without his teeth. Several made the comment there would have been other super mega stars that make a lot of money off this would have left the game immediately when that happened. He kept on playing. First win since 1980. That's big. Whew. I'm not even going to add that up. That scares me of the age of that. Another big thing that is happened over the weekend, it finally ended. Remember when we started talking about this some 41, 42 days ago, nurses going on strike in New York City? Well, they held out. They got what they wanted, apparently. They're going back to work over the weekend. It finally happened. They signed the necessary paperwork and are back to work. Now, to be honest with you, I don't know what happened to people that needed the help during that time. I have no clue. I started seeing pictures this morning of my grandma used to say, and I won't finish the statement, he's as worthless as you fill in the blank. Mitch McConnell is where I'm going with that. Apparently, and I haven't done all the reading that I needed to know about this, James Wood shared this also. As we look at this, it says he will be remembered as a destroyer of the Republic as we celebrate the 250th anniversary of our independence. Apparently, he is going to be the person that stops the Save America Act. And I'm assuming that it is being blocked by Mitch McConnell, him being that final vote to sway it either way. And what that does is basically make it to where you have to show identification to vote in America as an American. Mitch McConnell, who can't walk, who can't talk, who stares at the camera. We'll leave it at that. How can people that live in America continuously run down our country? And I'll show this briefly. I want to show that the American flag is here, and then I'll explain it because I don't want to pause it for very long because something written below it. There you see the American flag raised. That was posted in the HuffPost. And let me read you the headline of what that said. If waving the American flag or chanting USA turns you off right now, you're not alone. And what this was promoting was a company named Jimmy's Famous Seafood, who made a derogatory remark of those running America down. And the person that reshared this says, why don't y'all support him? He's a true American patriot. Oh, my. We had a U.S. sailor, and this is a rarity that would ever happen on a nuclear sub that was brought to the service. He was ill. He's been flown to a hospital for them to give up where they were. It was a necessary thing. At the same time, we see that near Greenland, we see that President Trump has made a remark here where he is sending the USS Mercy. They're going to be sending this over to help out for medical reasons. A ship there, that's what that is. You've never seen that one before. That's a pretty neat deal there. What else do we have going on this morning? We out in where they gamble all the time, Pawn Stars, Las Vegas. This I'm going to use is the word no sense? Is it worse than that? What were they thinking? Where they tried to take a car and ram into a substation? Now, this is not somebody ran off the road and it hit the substation. It was someone trying to take out the power. Guess who's not with us anymore? They're saying this was terrorism, and it was, by all means. It was a terrorist attack. You're going to be seeing changes on this. I think we're 3 going into 4 weeks of this, of the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping. Resources are beginning to be pulled back on this. They have no clues whatsoever where they went. Do y'all remember when that started and they were showing the person or male on the doorbell ring and saying that didn't know what he was doing, had no clue, he was clumsy, and he would quickly be found because, well, he didn't know what he was doing. Looks like the shoe is on the other foot, does it not? We certainly hope the best for this family, but it's grim. You have to face reality of when time is running out and there are no clues whatsoever. We pray for that family, we surely do. We see that an Ohio man was going to be smart. He called 911 to report that someone had broken into his home and shot his wife. He's now been arrested for her murder. He tried, I guess you would say, the perfect setup. It didn't work out for him. I know nothing other than Rocky when it comes to boxing. Mike Tyson one time bit somebody's ear, I think. Outside of that, I really don't know anything about boxing. But Floyd Mayweather, apparently he was unbeaten, and he's been retired for 9 years, and well, he's coming out of retirement. He's been offered some money, hasn't he? That's what it sounds like to me. That will drive the Vegas odds up for sure there. Over the weekend, we did lose a baseball Hall of Famer, if you remember, and I'm going to struggle with his name, but I'll try here. Bill Mazeroski. He was 89. He had the walk-off home run in the 1960 World Series. He's passed away at the age of 89. Condolences to his family as we do that. Let me show you a suspect. Maryland, which is near Washington, D.C. This is concerning, to say the least. An 87-year-old male was in a nursing home facility, assisted living. They found him with a gunshot wound. He had been murdered. Here's what police have released. They have no idea. As we go to the Montgomery County Police Department, that's the image that they've got of this person. And they truly are saying they can't tell whether that's a man or a woman. It has a female look, but in today's world, how would you know with the long hair? That's the subject that they think is responsible for taking that elderly man's life at 87. How horrible. I don't know how this happened, but they are sending, Trump has signed off on disaster relief to Washington, D.C., as the Potomac has been dumped with raw sewage. Y'all been seeing this? We'll leave that at that. Also, a blizzard getting ready to hit New York City. They're expecting at least 3 inches an hour. This is going to be catastrophic for that area there. Things are going to be shut down. Probably we'll have some delays with airplanes. I just could not get used to the blizzard stuff. 2 feet of snow at least expected from Boston to New York and those areas there. If you live in that area, God bless you, hang on. But a serious snowstorm blizzard is coming your way. Be careful, be careful, be careful. Today in court is going to happen. Meathead, y'all remember him from All in the Family? Reiner. His son, and I'm not going to say either way, but he's expected to be arraigned in court today and make his plea of guilty or not guilty. We'll find out later what he will plead. One can only assume that he will go with the not guilty, but that has not been done yet. Also, as I backstep one story, as we go back to the Nancy Guthrie. Police are saying this, and I have to 100% agree with this. They have a call center set up to where you can call with a tip. And they're saying, please quit calling if you've just got an opinion. So I guess the way to word this is there's armchair quarterback investigators that think they know the answer to it and are telling people. They just want to know the facts. Do you have something? It's clogging up the phone lines, and, well, they just don't have the people to help out with that. They need facts. That's fair enough, is it not? We'll be right back as we get into your forecast this morning to let you know who, what, when, and when this cold stuff's going to end us, when it's going to go away. We'll be right back.
What they do to train their people, but they're always so friendly. Everybody on the phone is friendly. Everyone who comes out to help is professional and kind.
If we want our team to treat our customers well, it starts with us treating the team well. My grandfather and father worked hard to create a family atmosphere where we care for each other, celebrate each other, and genuinely enjoy working together to serve our customers. That overflows to the customer's experience, and that's hassle-free plumbing and AC.
That means we're back on. Let's get into our forecast now so we can get all this figured out.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA.
Those record highs and lows back in 82, it was a warm day, 85 today. Back in 64, we had a cool 16. Woo! As we look at our temperatures for today, this is all we're going to get on that thermometer today. 47 is as warm as it's going to get. Philadelphia is a little worse at 45. By the time you get to Louisville, temperatures start dropping to about 43. And by the time you get to Iuka there at that Tennessee line, you're going to be sitting at 37. Down the river, we go through Clarksdale, about 40. We'll get to 48 at Vicksburg, and warms up a little bit at Natchez and 53 on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Tonight, break out those long-handle underwear because you'll need them. 23 in Meridian, Philadelphia, and we should see 22 there. In Louisville, we see 27 in Yazoo. And over in Columbus at the Air Force Base, about 21. And northward all the way to the state line, staying at about that temperature. Tonight, Vicksburg, about 26. But we'll feel cooler with that wind coming off the river there. We'll see 31 in Gulfport tonight, below freezing. As we look at Bama today, 45 in Demopolis. We'll see that in Livingston as well. And it should be somewhere around 41 in Birmingham and 45 in Montgomery for a high today. And remember now, that's the high. Burr. Now, this is what we spoke about a moment ago. I saw fire truck after fire truck yesterday. Do not burn. We have sustained winds today of anywhere from 10 to 15. Gust taking it to 25 miles an hour. Yesterday it was 30. Today we're looking at 25. It means we do not need to burn. You've got a level 1 in the Tupelo area. As you get from Columbus Air Force Base all the way to Clark County, that's going to be a level 2, taking in Vicksburg, Cleveland, Clarksville, all that area level 2, which means fires are more likely to escape if you were to set it. Open burning should not be attempted today. And as we go to the Mississippi Gulf Coast, it's going to be significant. They will spread rapidly. Open burning should not even be attempted at all. So basically, the state of Mississippi, leave the matches alone for the day. Even if you light something up here where it's a level 1 up around Tupelo and Oxford, it's still going to be bad. Leave it alone. There will be other days when the wind is calm as we look at that. Here's what we got. Warmer temperatures starting to ease their way. They're in South Texas now, making their way here. Cold again tonight, but as we go to our 7-day forecast, here's what we got. 23 for tonight. By tomorrow, we start seeing a change. We'll warm back up to 58 tomorrow. Tomorrow night, on Tuesday night, we'll get down to 42. And by Wednesday, the cold snaps over and we're back into warm weather once again with a high of 71 down to 58. Rain is in your future come Thursday. We're looking for a high of 72, but a 70% chance of showers, low of 43 by Friday. We're still looking good at 66. And then by Saturday, the weekend, you couldn't ask for anything any better. 74 on Saturday if you've got an outdoor event. Nighttime lows of about 51. Still Sunday at 76, and we'll go all the way through March the 9th. Can you believe we're even saying that? 70 there on the 2nd. We'll stay above 70 for the most part all the way through the 9th, and we're warming up to 76 there as we get into the 8th and 9th right along in there. Rain showers in those forecasts, though, but it's going to be nice and warmer weather. This is our first Punxsutawney Phil day that we've had in a while, isn't it? As we look at our fishing forecast, here's what we've got today. North-north wind, as I mentioned a moment ago, 10 to 15 sustained, with gusts as high as 25 miles an hour. It's going to make it tough for fishing today. If you're brave enough to go out on the water this afternoon from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock is good. That's at dark 30. Now, you've got a minor time this morning to bundle up between 9:30 and 10:30 if you want to try it. Sunrise happened at 6:28. I can already see the sunshine outside. Sunset will happen at 5:47 this afternoon. Let's go over and take a look at radar as we look at what's happening across America. Let's pull that up. I didn't have it ready, did I? That happened. As we pull this up, here's what we've got here. Now, again, this Hattiesburg area, if you'll see this, this is that fire weather warning that we looked at, this at level 1. Over to our east as we get into these areas here, look at this over in Lisbon, Alabama, cold weather warning through 8 a.m. today. And that takes in all of Enterprise, Dothan, Alabama, Mobile, Pensacola, and all the way over into Georgia, Macon, Dublin, Athens, Atlanta. All of those areas have that. And what's this right here that I'm seeing? Oh, that's a little bit of a snow flurry happening here in northwestern Alabama, Georgia right there. Right there on the line there, a little bit there in Alabama. Ider, Bridgeport, Alabama, getting a little bit this morning over to Chickamauga, Lafayette, Georgia, just west of Dalton. And when you get into these areas here in Tennessee, a little bit coming down. Now, I ain't saying it's sticking, but there is a flurry or two happening there. Nashville, look at that. Y'all have got a little bit there in North Nashville. Ashland City and those areas there, Springfield, Hendersonville, just north of you as we see all of this. So that's what we've got. Lots up there. Bowling Green getting a little bit, and then we've got it into Charleston, South Carolina, and those areas there. Even Louisville getting a little bit this morning as we look at radar. Be careful no matter where you're traveling. It's cold weather across the U.S. right now, at least on this eastern side. We'll be back as the morning show gets underway to tell you the whodunit and all what went on this weekend. That's up and coming here at the Scotty Ray Report. Join us, won't you? We'll be back live in about 2 minutes.